Well, here I wanted to tell the story about the Beatles because I did get to much later on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction when Paul McCartney really got Ringo as a soloist into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he said, "If you induct him, I will come and make the speech." So now you have the two living Beatles, and Ringo was going to be inducted, and I was going to be the house band. Now, as a sideline, I call Will Lee, the biggest Beatles fan.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they got the Fab Four.
And I say, yeah, Fab Four is his Beatles. He's had a Beatles tribute band, essentially, really. For 20 years, they've been in his... So I said, Will, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland at such and such date in March. I said, we're going to get to play with the two living Beatles. And he said, I can't. I got a gig. I said, who are you playing? He says, the Fab Four. I said, you're going to miss playing with the two living Beatles to play with your tribute band, but a gig is a gig, and the guys depended on it, so he didn't make it. But we had Paul McCartney, and I'm exactly, playing with a little help of my friends, and actually hanging out with the two of them.
They're the greatest to hang with.
In between takes, rehearsal of help of my friends. Yeah. And just talking. And Paul says, when Ringo sat down at the drums, John and I looked at each other and said, this could really be something. And I said, Ringo, you always knew how to swing. In each of these rock and roll tunes, there was always one element that was swinging and playing a shuffle against those. Yeah. How did you know to do that? You made the records dance. Yeah. He said, my dad. He always had Sarah Vaughan and Billy Eckstein, same as my dad, and it sounds like same as your dad.
Oh, totally.
He says, so there'll always be a swing in my playing.
Have you ever had this problem? Not to interject, but I've had producers go, don't swing so much. I'm like, really?
Don't swing so much.
Don't swing so much. As when people got more and more in drum machines and programming and sequencing on all instruments, I'd be laughing, going, are you kidding me? Don't swing so much.
You to sound more mechanical.
More mechanical. Yeah. I'd have to play stiff.
Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt.
The ending of the story is, I'm always, when I go to see Ringo, I always wish that there wasn't a second drummer, because I'd love to hear his feel. You can't really hear him when he's one of two drummers.
Yeah.
So I just, after McCartney said that, and that John said, wow, this could really be something. And I just paused and I said, but he won't play unless there's another drummer sitting beside him. And then there was another pause, and McCartney said, well, why should he?
For me, 50 years after seeing the Beatles, I got called by Don Wants to do the Beatles, the night that changed America, honoring them for the Ed Sullivan Show. So I got to play with Paul and Ringo.
Wonderful.
But 2 weeks before...
So you were the second drummer.
I was the second drummer.
Yeah.
So, but 2 weeks, and I did 4 songs or 3 songs, and the first one, he played drums and sang Boy. And then the next 2 songs, Yellow Submarine and something else, might have been a little help from my friends. Then he's the singer, goes up. But 2 weeks before, he was being honored. David Lynch Foundation honored him, and we did 4 songs together, and it was everything you're saying. It was like, that's the sound of the Beatles.
Yeah.
I mean, it's uncanny. I'm like staring at him. You can't put it, you can't analyze it. It is just what it is. And it was unbelievable.
Part of it is that swing.
It's a swing.
Yeah. And so underrated. People don't realize.
Well,
now they're starting to realize. Yeah. He's 80-something, and we're starting to realize what a great drummer.